Hi and welcome to this session called Kingdom Business. And what I really like to explore here is not only what it means to be a Christian in business, which is often how we think of it, but what does it actually mean to have a kingdom business? That is a business that goes beyond just having the Christian values, but a business that actually makes a big difference in society. But I want to tell you a bit about my story first, and that is that when I left school at roughly around 18 years of age, myself and a couple of friends set up a little business in my parents' garden shed. And what we did was we used to teach younger students how to study and how to get themselves organised. Now, whilst that business didn't last very long, it really gave me a bit of a passion, if you like, for doing all things entrepreneurial and starting businesses. And it's something that I had really dreamt about then for many, many years afterwards, until the age of 29, when I then set up my actual financial planning business, which I then had for the next 8 years. And look, God was very generous. He blessed that business and it did very well. And then I was able to sell that in 2013. And now I'm running two different businesses, both this Wealth with Purpose that you're part of now, watching this, and then also Christian Money Magazine. Let's talk about, though, what it means to have a kingdom business. But let me ask you this question first, and that is, are you called to business? You see, I believe very strongly that being in business is an actual calling. It's something that God actually wants you to do, and that being in business really is your mission, if you like, and your mission field. One of the sad things in the church over a long, long period of time is this, what we call secular and sacred divide. It's kind of this idea that someone who is in full-time vocational ministry, like they're a pastor or whatever, is much more holy than someone who is in business. That's completely false. And I want to suggest to you that both the person in business and the person in vocational ministry can be equally godly and actually just living out the calling that God has on their life. So what does it mean then to have a kingdom business, and what does that really look like? Well, obviously a business has to make a profit. So a kingdom business, like all others, needs to make a profit or you won't be in business for very long. But a kingdom business has some unique things. It's not just about being a Christian in the marketplace and having good values. Obviously, they really go without saying that that's something that should underpin any Christian business person, whether they work for themselves or whether they work for somebody else. I want to suggest to you it's far, far greater than that. A kingdom business is one that can make a difference for God's kingdom. It can actually extend God's kingdom. And it can do that in a whole range of ways. One is it can, with the profits it makes, it can use to fund the Great Commission. You can also use it to help the poor. As Christians, we're called to lift people up and out of poverty. But not only can it do that by giving money, it can actually employ people. The vast majority of people are actually employed by small businesses, not by the big names that we often think and associate with business. And a kingdom business also is relational, and this is where I think I really get excited about kingdom business. That is that you as a business owner, you're mixing with all sorts of people. You're mixing with your staff, you're mixing with suppliers and customers, and you can have a profound impact and a profound witness to them for the sake of Jesus Christ. And that is the greatest opportunity that you'll have in business. And a kingdom business is very deliberate about that. It's actually praying for its people, praying for its staff and for its customers, and praying for opportunities to be a great witness. It's also eternally focused, so we have a business here that's not just about making a profit. As I say, that's an essential part, but it's a business that has an eternal focus with what it's actually trying to achieve. It also is a business that is aiming to multiply. You see, when we think of a typical sort of business operation, we often just think of it in very small terms. I want to suggest that you have a much bigger vision, and I believe you can multiply your business. So what do I mean? Well, let's use some actual examples. Think about a company like McDonald's, started in I think it was the 50s or 60s by a guy called Ray Kroc. He teamed up with the McDonald's brothers, who owned a single store. And of course, McDonald's multiplied all across North America and then indeed across the entire world, with more than 35,000 stores these days. And that is an example of rapid multiplication. Think of Facebook these days. There's more than 1 billion people on it, and it barely existed 10 years ago. So it's something that's absolutely multiplied. There's licensing, revenue sharing, referrals. There's all sorts of ways you can multiply a business, and that's something that a kingdom business does. And a kingdom business can have a profound impact on the culture around it through the way it operates. And that's something I really want to leave with you, that your business becomes not just an ordinary business doing whatever it is that you do, but it's one that actually transforms the community in which your business is operating. because that's what we're ultimately here to do. We're called to take the good news to the nations, and we do that as one way through business. So how do we do it? Well, there's all sorts of things that you can do, but I want to suggest to you that the starting point of building a kingdom business is actually handing your business over to God and saying to yourself, well, this is not my business, it's actually God's business, and what's God going to do with it? And really seeking Him for the vision and the mission of the business and the objectives beyond just profit. And I also want to suggest that if you want to have a truly great kingdom business, then you're going to have to spend time on your knees. You need to build intimacy with the Father and make sure that you're going to have Him on your team. You know, God is the ultimate business partner, and to build a thriving kingdom business means you're going to have to spend time with God, seeking His wisdom, His counsel. He wants to guide you by His Holy Spirit. So please give some really careful thought to not only what your mission and vision is going to be, but making sure that God is behind everything you do, because that will really help your business to be a fantastic success, not only in a profit sense, but being a business that makes a difference and a business that builds God's eternal kingdom. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.